Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove this body side molding on the rear door on your Honda Civic. You can remove it from the outside, but you have a much more likelihood to either one, scratch the car or break the molding. So the way I'm going to show you is actually we're going to have to go in from the inside, take the door panel off, and come around from the inside of the car to remove the clips to get that off. Downside is you do have to remove the door panel, but upside is you're most likely not going to damage anything. I guess if you're going to replace the molding, it's not that big of a deal, but you still have to be careful scratching your car or anything. You can use wide plastic pry tools like this to get in there. I would not recommend anything metal because you will scratch your door. But you can get these off Amazon. I'll put a link to the description below where you can get these ones. But what you would do is just go around and press it in between there, and there's clips on here, and you can press it and pry on it, and basically you're probably going to break in this, but again, if you're replacing it, it's not that big of a deal. So the way I'm going to show you is probably the safest method, just a little bit more work, but it'll get you get this molding off without breaking anything. We're going to start out by removing this window switch cover right here, and I'm going to use a plastic pry tool to pop this thing off. You can use a flathead screwdriver. You just got to be careful when you're prying on it not to scratch the plastic. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my tool and we're going to come around the back side here and just pry up on the cover and then just pull back on it and the cover releases. And then we need to unplug it by pushing on, you can see there's a little tab right there. So I'm going to push on the tab with one hand, and then with the other hand I'm going to pull out on this cover. And just set that to the side, and then we are going to take a Phillips screwdriver and remove this screw right here. And next we're going to take a really small flathead screwdriver, and we're going to open the door handle here, and we're going to push in on this little tab here on the end, and get your screwdriver in behind there, and then we're going to kind of pry out on it, and it pops that inner cap out. And in behind there you can see there's a Phillips screw right there. We're going to have to take that out. And then also in behind here is this clip right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that small flathead and we're just going to kind of gently press on the center of the clip. And just going to push just enough where it goes in maybe a quarter of an inch, but not even that much, maybe an eighth of an inch. That center portion will kind of push in, and that's all we need to do right now. And then we're going to come back to that clip here later, and I'll show you how we're going to get that out. And next, you're going to want to take a wide plastic pry tool. This is from the same set that I had my skinnier plastic pry tool from earlier. And we're going to jam it between the door panel and the door frame itself. And then what you're going to do is take one hand and put it on your door panel, and then take the other and grab a hold of your plastic pry tool, and then we're going to pull out on both of those at the same time, and that will pop the bottom of your door panel loose. And your sides will typically pop loose also, but if your sides there still feels like there's a clip up here being held in, you can go towards the top where it feels like it's being held in and just take your plastic pry tool and pop the door panel loose, kind of follow it up until you can feel it give. And then it should feel like the whole door panel is loose except for this top edge. It should just be pivoting on the top edge, and that's because the top of the door panel is curled around like that, and it's actually hanging on the door panel. So that's where we want to be. And then to get this clip out that I was talking about earlier, if it didn't already pop out, a lot of times when you pop the door panel loose, it'll already be loose or it'll fall out. But if it's not, if it's still kind of in, you can pull out on the door panel and just pick it up slightly. So I'm just holding on the bottom, pick it up, and then push it back in. And it pushes that clip right out. And here's the clip right here. When we go to put it back in, you're going to reset it by pushing it back through like that. And then once we have the door panel back on, you're going to want to stick it through both holes and then just press it flush. And then that's how you reinstall it. But all I was doing was I was just picking up on the door panel. So I was pulling the door panel away from the car, the bottom, and then I was picking up on it and then pushing it back in. And you can see how it unaligns the hole, and that's what presses the clip out when I do that. And now to get the door panel off the car, we are just going to pick up on the door panel, and it releases this edge here from the car. And now we just got to go around to the back side of the door panel to disengage this inner door handle. So this door handle here on the back side of the door is held in by these little clips right here. So it's going to start here on the end, and we're going to push these in with our fingers. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of put a little bit of pressure, pushing the door handle towards the inside of the car. Same with these two clips right here. Press those and then kind of push it through. And then with my other hand on the other side, I'm going to pull it forward a little bit and then turn it and then feed it back through the hole. And now that the door panel is off, we're going to pull down just the upper part of this plastic just so we can gain access to the back. We don't have to take it all the way off, just the top part. And then when you get to these rubber little grommets here, you can just get your hands in behind there and pop them out and just put them to the side, and we'll save them later for when we get to put this back in. So we're going to pull this down. Same with this one over here. And sometimes this black stuff will come off partially on here and partially on the plastic. Sometimes it doesn't. This time it didn't. But it can be pretty messy, so try to avoid touching it and getting it on your arms and your tools. If you do get it all over you, you can take it off with vegetable oil, olive oil, coconut oil, anything like that. Just put on a paper towel and wipe it on your skin, your tools, and it'll take the black right off. Alright, so now we're going to switch the camera angle to inside the door here. Alright, so what we're going to be doing is taking a pair of needle nose pliers, and I'm using the long ones. It'll help me get in these corner down here to get these clips. And so what we're going to do is, if you have someone helping you, you're going to want to have them pull out on the molding. But if you don't have someone helping you, before you start squeezing on the molding, or the clip rather down here at the bottom, you're going to want to shove a plastic pry tool in between the molding and the door. And I'll show you that right now. So if you don't have anybody to help you to pull out on this molding while you're pushing the clips in, what you can do is, we just need to get something in between here to put pressure on this molding. And I'm just going to be using the plastic pry tool from the set that I mentioned earlier. You can use anything you want. You can use a piece of wood. Basically, so I get it between there, get a little pressure on here, and leave it there until we snap the clip. And then each time we snap a clip, it'll either fall out or it'll lose the pressure, and then we'll have to move it forward and progress it forward to keep pressure on the clips as we work our way towards the front of the door. Alright, so we're back in the door here, so I'm going to go ahead and pinch that first clip with my needle nose. Alright, and it might not seem like it's going anywhere, like it's popping out, but when you pinch it and you hear the little clicking, it's just enough pressure to release it. So it might not seem like it's doing anything, but once you hear it click, you want to go back around to the outside of the car and readjust your plastic pry tool. And then for this last clip in the front, just open up your front door. And then just take your molding and just rotate it till it's vertical, and then the last clip will just pop out. And when you take it off, you can see that there's like a double-sided tape right here on the bottom. There's some, usually it always tears when you take it off. You see there's some left on the molding, and then there's some left on the door. If you want, you can scrape it off with a using something plastic or wood, and then use like mineral spirits or something to get the rest of the residue off. And same with here. And then you can put new double-sided tape on here if you want, and I'll link to that in the description below also where you can get that. But if you're putting a new molding on, you're not going to worry about putting it. It'll come with the new double-sided tape on there, but you're just going to want to make sure you get the old stuff off before you put the new molding on. And putting the new molding on is really simple. You basically just want to find the clip that has the black thing next to it. That's the alignment clip. You want to start with that one and get that centered and press that one in first, and then just press the other ones in and they clip right in. And that's it, guys. That's how you remove your molding. Thanks for watching.